Hi everyone, I'm recording this video to give the update about my Google Sum of Code project, integrate O3 with the authentication module. So right now I'm on my coding period, so week 1 is over and I'm on my week 2. And I had the calls with my mentors for week 1 and week 2. And without taking much of time, let's go to see what I did and what I'm doing right now and what I have to do. uh, uh, Here my project epic. So on my first week I had the call with my mentors. As if you read my a medium blog post about week 1, you know about that what we discussed and other stuff. So on week 1, we discussed about the my proposal, what are missing on my proposal and what I have to improve, and likewise. So on the week 1, my mentors suggested me to create the epic for this project. So as they mentioned, I created the epic for this. So this is in the authentication module project, and this epic is this. So right now I have only one ticket and I have to create another ticket as well, so I'll describe that later. And on the week 1, we have discussed a couple of things. And also my mentor mentioned on my proposal, I said that we have to like see in the user flow, we have to like see whether the user it is mandatory to set up the 2FA, or if the user can log in first, and when user likes to set up the 2FA, he have like a feature to like when he wanted, he can set up the 2FA. So likewise, so my mentors mentioned me to like uh, see the authentication module and look whether is there a way to like handle that, or already is it there. So as they mentioned, I go through the project and see yes, right now there is like from this module we can like give the user as this option to like this is we can set this as optional to the user. So this is not mandatory right now in the module, so this is not mandatory. User can like you simply log in the system first, and when he wanted to like set up the 2FA, he or the user can do it via the feature we are giving. So as I go through the project, that is what I got understand, and I have to give the update about this to my mentors and asked whether how we move forward. So that is my first update about this project. And also in that call we talked about how we gonna like insert our feature to the modules, to the system. So right now when a user logins to the OpenMRS, user sees the login page with username field and the password field. So after user put that credentials, user will redirect to the select location page, which means user can select multiple locations. So not multiple, user sees multiple locations, and user can select one of that and move forward to the system. So after he selected the location, user will redirect to the service queues page, main page. Uh, so we discussed, and we agreed to put the TOTP setup screen in the middle of that login page and the location page. So when the user comes to the login page, landing page, actually login page. So after user entered the credentials, user will redirect to our TOTP setup screen. So that is what we discussed, and after our TOTP setups, he complete that TOTP verification, user will redirect to the location selection page. So to do that, actually we had two things to like think about. One is using session endpoint, and other one is like using location uh, location thing. So I'll describe that later. I asked about that question in my community thread. I asked that how should the backend communicate a TOTP challenge. So this one is actually I'm wrong. I got wrong thing. So the other one is for node one responds with a structured JSON body through the session API. So that is a one thing, and the other thing is using location. So after the some of kind of communications, we conclude that we need to like uh, communicating this via the session endpoint body would require altering the session JSON body by introducing one or more properties, which means the endpoint would have two shapes, one for 2FA and one for when the user is logged in. So using 4.1 with the location header is the closest we can get to the standard. So this is what we concluded. So using location 4.1 with the location header is the closest we can get to the standard. Instead of using session endpoint approach, like we came to a conclusion that we are moving forward with the return for node 1 with the location header. So the location header tells exactly where to go next, which means uh, think of like this. So the for node 1 says you are not done authentication yet. So and the location header says go here to finish. So that's how these things happen, if I correct. So that is the approach we gonna get. And after that, on the week 2 call, we like discuss, I have that, I can show you that. So using the session endpoint is something like this. So if we use the session endpoint, it is something like this, to like similar to like this, like we have to put our TOTP verification into here. And already location header is used in the OpenMRS core. So it is something like this. So uh, using some kind of like this, we can use the for node 1 with the location header. So that is how it goes. And on the week 2 call, we goes to the like my mentor said to create the like two tickets to work on. That is, one is uh, when a user is using the O3 frontend and their authentication fails, the backend should return a for node 1 unauthorized response. This allows to O3 to handle the authentication challenge programmatically and show the right UI without breaking the user's current workflow. So right now OpenMRS have O3 framework and the O2 framework. So if the user is using the O2 framework, O2 requests continue to get a 3.1 redirect, and no existing behavior is broken. And if the user is using O3 framework, it should be like this, for node 1 unauthorized with the location header on the authentication failure. That is how it works. That is how it should works. And the other one is, my mentor said start to write the endpoints to the TOTP setup screens. So if you saw my project proposal, you may have to see I described there in about some of endpoints that I need to write. So I have to develop that those endpoints as well. And that is how my week 1 and week 2 goes. And another interesting thing was when developers developing backend, so in OpenMRS there are two people, uh, there are two kind of people. One are using like OpenMRS SDK, and others are using Docker way. So actually I use the OpenMRS SDK, and it is documented as well in the OpenMRS documentation. So likewise I set up an OpenMRS instance and use that to do the development. So after some things happen, the my OpenMRS instance is not worked, and I mentioned about that to my mentor. So my mentor said, hey, there is another way to do this setup, and like not is a setup, it is we can do the backend development with Docker as well. So he mentioned about that, and I learned that from him, and I did the same thing, and I documented that way as well. So this is how it works. Like we have to clone the distro reference application, and we need to like create a temporary Docker compose override file, and add the following content. And so after that we have to start OpenMRS using Docker Compose. And uh, when we are working with the modules, we have to like build our custom OpenMRS module. So we have to go to the module project, and after the builds there will be an OMOD file. So we have to inject module into the OpenMRS Docker setup. This is how that works. And if you like to do the development with OpenMRS, you can go through this documentation, and you also can do this as well. So that is how my progress and my work goes with the OpenMRS with my project right now. And I have to like now properly go to the like coding parts, like building the endpoints, TOTP setup screens likewise. And this is now it's getting tough and hard, I think. So I'll update you on my third week with what I did and how is my progress goes. So hope to see you in my next video. Thank you. Bye bye.